Welcome, huh?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna kill you. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. It's number 11. Chris, what's up, man? What's going on?
Well, we have another
Another week.
weird week of weather.
Same here. Same here.
We've had some very warm temps, and then
Yep.
it's dove down, and we actually had snow today, and it went up
hmm
to 42 and melted all off. Very weird.
Yep. Yeah, we're way ahead of schedule here in Maryland. I went scouting Sunday on some public. Was it Saturday? Sunday on public land. It was a gorgeous day. It was 65 degrees. I mean, literally everything is blooming.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy stuff.
So here's what I did over the weekend.
What'd you do? Slept.
I
You slept all weekend.
I wish. There's a fella I know out of Erie County,
hmm
and he is an official scorer
Mm,
for a club called Northeast Big Buck Club.
okay.
And he was in a local shop up here at Route 66, which Domain has a stand in there.
Mm.
They are a dealer for Domain seed, which was pretty cool. Um,
Was Mike there?
no, nobody
That's
was
un-
there.
that's unfortunate.
Nobody was there from Domain there in Wisconsin.
All right.
So he had a scoring event at the store. So I went up. Well, first I texted him, told him I was going to be coming, and he said, "Bring something to score." And I wasn't hauling out a big mount with me, off the wall. So
You don't have no mounts.
I grabbed a Euro uh, from 2020, I think it was the year that I shot that, I believe. And I took it up, and he scored it unofficially. They have no deduction type policy,
hmm
all gross scoring. And anywho, he had a couple 170 whoppers come in that he
From
measured.
PA, from any certain area, or just
Nah, just like whoever wanted to show up.
okay. But I mean, it was all PA.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of guys they're all pretty much local, coming to that local shop there.
hmm
They have everything, man. It's like a mini Cabela's there at that store. They
Yeah.
have a little bit of everything. It's pretty cool.
I,
But yeah, he had a couple 170s come in, and
nice.
while I was standing there waiting for him to finish up, um, he had a kid a 150 that he measured. Um, my Euro was just about 130. That small
Really
Euro I got, yeah, it was
nice.
almost 130. So,
Nice.
that's that's the relative to the big boy that I got.
Yeah.
So he's 130. So that big boy, I know he's a little bigger. So
hmm Yeah, that's cool.
maybe maybe if he does another event, maybe I will take it off the wall, dust it off, and take it to him.
Yeah, I did some actually did some digging a few months back over onto my new property out in
Hmm.
Western PA, and that area. I'm not going to mention exactly where it's at, but that area is one of the top 5 counties in PA with the largest bucks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
huh, I didn't know that.
I would probably contribute to all the ag and different pockets of woods and stuff. Um,
So let's jump into it.
well,
Let me
listen, I
let
didn't
me.
tell you I didn't tell you we were going to do this.
Go ahead.
I just briefly. That's why I was late getting on the podcast, guys. I was holding people up. Um, I took a deep dive into the analytics of the podcast.
Ah,
I just wanted to see where we were at. I went through the whole thing and I just wrote down some statistics that basically I just want to say, and then basically thanks everybody, for listening and tuning in. So as of today, we officially reached 30 states
yeah, cool.
that people have been listening.
Nice.
We've also hit Jamaica and Singapore. Why I don't know, but we're there.
Okay.
Um, the top states is PA, Texas, Michigan, Ohio, Maryland, and Kentucky.
Wow.
Top states. Um,
Those are
as
some big
of
buck states too.
yeah, as of 20 minutes ago, we have officially 5,376 downloads,
Cool.
which may not seem like a lot, but we're brand new, 11, 10 podcasts deep. I thought that was a lot.
Yeah.
Um, the number one app for people listening is 38% on Apple Podcast, 8% on Samsung Podcasts, 11% on Spotify, 15% on Amazon Music Podcasts, and it just trickles down from there
Hmm.
on the different podcasts. So I thought that was cool, and I appreciate everybody listening and tuning in. I'm starting to get a lot of people like, "Hey, man, listen to your podcast." I'm starting to get that, so that tells me we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. Cool. That's
Cool.
neat. Neat to know, man.
Yeah, it's always. I didn't really have a chance to dive into that until today, so I just wanted to.
Well, I mean, we're appreciative because I mean, we come on here sometimes and we're like, man, what are we going to talk about today? And we start spinning it, and it's like it ends up pretty cool,
Well, there's so many things to talk about, but we're kind of in that like dead of season. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Where there's not a whole lot going on other than
right. So
scouting
it's
or
hard to come up with content that's really interesting at the moment,
yeah,
but there is trending things happening, like
right.
frost seeding and things. Right now everybody's like freaking out,
Yeah,
because warm temperatures, cold temperatures. We're
yeah.
gonna get into a little bit of that here
Oh,
later on.
I mean, we're only 11. Like I said, this is number 11. We got many, 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 many more to go. And, we're doing this to try to help people and all that. And nobody's getting paid. It's all free content. So, um,
I mean, I'm not getting paid.
we're not getting paid. I'm not getting paid either. And that's one thing that I will not do for this podcast is
Pay me.
sponsor it up with all these advertisements. Every podcast I listen to, it's all these freaking. I mean, they're getting paid, which they got to get paid for their time. I understand that, but I have a job. I have multiple jobs. I don't need to get paid for a podcast. So
Show me the money.
right, that's just where I stand on that. With that said, thanks again for everybody listening, downloading, tuning in, comments, whatever. And I know you have a I know you're upset, you're bitter about all the about all the clover situations going on. So let's talk. This will be the third podcast that where we've mentioned clover, but it's such a hot topic right now,
Yeah.
and people are still confused and lost with this.
Oh
So
yeah.
let's put a nail in the coffin on clover.
All right. Let's get into it. I and we've said this before. The hot button is I'm always looking on Facebook at stuff, at
Hmm.
these forums, and these people. Uh, they're freaking out right now because we got those couple of 70-degree days across the country, and everybody ran out and started flinging seed. And now we've had this big cold snap come through, and like I said
Hmm.
earlier, I had 4 inches of snow today, and the temps are down in the 20s at night and things, and they're just out of their minds worried now that they did something wrong. And
Hmm.
uh, we were just talking about it before we came online here. Uh, as long as it's not, germinated up a couple inches or something, you'll be fine, folks. You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But the major factor is when you're slinging this seed out, you need to have the soil temperature is going to have to be 50 or above to get germination
For multiple days.
for multiple days in a row. And not only that, but they need to realize that air temperature and ground temperature is two different things,
Way different.
way different. So, you know, I actually have gone out already with a temperature probe and probed some of my ground and was looking at temperatures and stuff.
What'd you get?
Well, those warm days where it hit 70, it was 76 here to one day for a couple hours. I did hit 50,
But that's
but
only a short. It's not enough time.
oh, that's just a window. It was just a couple of hour window there
Yeah.
that I hit it just right,
How
after
how far
work.
did you go down? Couple inches.
Yeah, it's the probe's like 6 inches long, so I just
Gotcha.
jammed it down in the dirt. So yeah,
Cool.
I mean, it was interesting to see that. Uh, but people are worried. I mean, and they should be. I mean,
Yeah.
we keep saying, of course, every state's different. All temperatures are different everywhere, so I can't speak for people down south somewhere that they might already be in a spring setting.
And well,
But
some of that area down south in Florida, you can't frost seed because you don't get frost.
right, right.
So, but yeah, um, I got 2 weeks and I'm frost seed.
Gotcha.
It's not too late at least in our area, here throughout the Northeast. You got plenty of time still. I mean, you're getting there. You know, it's you better start thinking about it the next 2 3 weeks. Um, but I've been getting at a lot too. Is people calling me or text me, email. Hey, is it too late? No, it's not too late. We are in uh, a situation this year where, at least where I'm like 3 to 4 weeks ahead of schedule as far as like things blooming. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been very, very warm. I went scouting on Sunday, public land, and everything is blooming. When I drive down the roads, all the maples, they're budding out, they're blooming. But with that, we're still getting frosts
Oh
at,
yeah.
at, at night. It's still cold. You do get the warm temps during the day, but that's the perfect time to actually frost seed. Doesn't
Hmm.
mean nothing's going to germinate because you got to have those warm temperatures, 50 plus soil temperatures for days. Plus, you have to have the actual moisture
Yeah.
to get that stuff to germinate.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, around here, we're starting to see buds on trees and things.
hmm
Uh, we had a couple crocuses and tulips and things pop out of the ground.
Was it a leek or a tulip? You remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that. What Dave's referring to is we found some tulips on the piece of property him and I used to
You ate one.
manage, and I dug it up and I'm like, dude, let's see what this is. I'm gonna just bite into it and see if it was a leek bulb or a tulip.
It was a
Needless,
tulip.
needless to say, it was a tulip, and it
Y-
did not taste well.
Yes, it was. It was a
And
tulip.
they are toxic if you have a little too many of them.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah.
you
So
could
it
have
was
died.
not a leek.
You could have died.
I could have died,
I would have
but
buried you right on that homestead.
shut it. So I have some leeks popping up on my property. The wife has some tulips out front.
Mhm,
My
mhm,
parents have some crocuses popping.
mm.
Uh, yeah. I mean, other than that, though, there is no life being showed. And being that I live in the armpit of the world, I just never ever know what the weather's gonna. Something's gonna pop up on me. So I hold out till the end of March to frost seed. I
Yeah,
always do that.
mhm.
And because I know that I'm always going to get a freak week of weather that's going to be freezing or something, into early April.
Well, in years past, I mean, from me hunting, just to give people a rough, like, estimate, like, all the clover we planted at the old farm, that was Central PA, right, considered?
Yeah, and be considered.
Um, I mean, nothing there, like a perennial plot, the clover wouldn't start greening up in the spring until right around May 1st. You would start seeing clover coming in. By May 15th, May 20th, it was a lush clover because we turkey hunted over it.
Yeah,
But as far as actually planting clover, like a brand new plot, I mean, shoot, you plant say mid-May, 20th of May, you're not going to see that
you ain't
until
seeing it.
June,
Yeah,
mid-June. I mean,
yeah,
clover is slow to
so
start,
slow.
very
Even
slow.
even the annuals are slow at first,
Yeah, yeah.
until they get some heat, and then they
Mhm.
then they just will explode later on. But
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I mean, look at all the mornings you go out turkey hunting. You get up that early in the morning, and it's frosty.
It's cold.
It's cold, it's frosty, and that's all the way out into the middle of April, going into May. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
I've actually turkey hunted in snowstorms before here where I'm at, and the biggest turkey I ever shot, I got soaked to the butt, you know, with a freak snowstorm, one of these wet ones. And then the sun came out and melted it all off. Everything was soaking wet, and the bird was soaking wet, but it was my biggest bird in
Well,
that snowstorm.
me and you did skid steer work in the snow
Yeah.
and that was like mid-May. So it's
Yeah.
just like I said, it's state to state. It's gonna vary, but
Yeah, it's weird.
frost seeding, putting the nail in the literally is what it is. Frost seeding, freezing temps at night, highs during the day above freezing. It freeze thaws, freeze thaws, freeze thaws, and it just kind of helps suck the seed in the ground. Technically, you don't have to frost seed. It's
Don't
not
have to.
like you could literally go on bare soil when it's 70 degrees outside in
Yeah,
loose, not compacted soil, but like loose soil, frost like seed into that, you get some rain, it's going to germinate.
yeah,
The whole frost seed method is just to help ensure that you get good germination because the freezing thawing helps to suck the seed into the
yeah.
soil.
Get the soil to seed contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the people that are asking, is it too late? Is it too late? What are you worried about?
Hmm.
You don't need frost.
Nope.
Yeah, just wait. Just wait, and you can sling it out there. And you
I
you just brought up a good point, though. I want to expand on.
always
Like,
got points.
I just was reading. A guy said, "Oh, can I frost seed into a pasture?" You know, and I'm thinking, well, you could, but if it's not mowed short, if there's not exposed dirt, if it's compacted soil, you know, you might just be wasting your time.
Hmm.
You know, so it might be better to just wait to do that till you can just scratch the surface of the dirt
Yeah.
and then get good contact that way.
Hmm.
I mean, everybody's bent on this frost seeding right now. It's just such a hot topic.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. We both have several videos on it on
Hmm.
YouTube too. So it's a cool thing to do. I mean, if it's done if it's done into the right soil situation,
Yeah,
you're not just throwing it into a weedy
yeah. You gotta
area.
get, gotta get all the debris off, and you gotta have
Yeah.
it short enough that the dirt's exposed.
Right.
You
All right.
know,
So Clover's nail in the coffin. Hopefully people have that nailed down.
we'll see.
Um, I'm
We'll
tired
see.
of seeing you upset about Clover.
It triggers me.
So I want to talk about some trail cameras. Um, Trail camera use, cell cams versus regular cams, when to use which one, our opinions on that.
Hmm.
I have a lot of trail camera experience, going back 15 years. I've probably used every trail camera there is, besides a few, but yeah, so I want to talk about that.
Okay, you talk about it,
All
because
right.
I've only ever used Moultrie
Mm-hmm.
and what was that one that Drury's put out? That black one, that
I have
black
no idea.
black 35 or whatever it was.
I don't
I,
know.
I can't remember who made that. But then I go to Walmart and I just get the Tascos. And the reason why I get that is because I am on state land, national forest and things,
Hmm.
and people have sticky fingers.
Yes, they do.
So I go the cheap route. They work for me. It gives me good intel.
Hmm.
And I have a bag full of those puppies, and that's
I have,
what I use.
I have a couple of them. Um, I use cell cams. I love cell cams. I like keeping a tab on things.
I wish I could use cell cams.
Yes,
As I stated early, the armpit of the world, I don't have cell service.
yes, I love cell cams. I started out years ago using regular cams, and I like them as well. And they still have a time and place for them. Um, but I am big on the cell cam situation now. I started out using some brands coming up, and then kind of settled into using reveals. They seem to be, on the cheaper price side of things, but they seem to be holding up pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm surprised that people are really pleased with them,
yeah,
quality wise, and they are not the most expensive. You
no,
know,
um, I think this is the third year now, I think, of using reveals. But I also have some stealth cams that I still have. I use them and all that. But overall, I think I've pretty much transitioned to Reveal. I have some of the solar panels with them, the rechargeable batteries that go in there. Like I have almost 30 cell cams.
huh?
And I had a comment the other day on YouTube where somebody says, "Oh, it must be nice to have cell cams." that's paid for and everything. And I'm like, no, I paid for my cell cams. I pay for the monthly service. I work overtime. I work extra jobs to be able to pay for it. Nothing's, nobody's getting nothing free or paid for, nothing like that. Um, so I run all those cell cams every year, whether it's on public land or private land. And I mainly like them to be able to keep tabs on things, but also um, it has less intrusion on the property because you don't have to
Oh
go
yeah,
you have to go pull
definitely,
the card.
definitely.
There's situations too where I've put them in like a cell cam into like a bedding area or something that I've cut and just have that cell cam in, just not to really leave it in there year round, but just to put it in there for like a month or something, just kind of as like an experiment, to see what's in there, and you never have to check the card. You get all the pictures
Right
to your phone.
now, we just had a locally here. We just had a brand new cell tower installed.
Mm,
So I'm hoping once they turn that thing on, that quality improves. Uh, if it does, I may be able to go to the cell cam, which
mm-hmm.
would be awesome because I've got to walk miles to go get to some of those spots that I shot
Yeah.
some of these bigger bucks in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I say miles, but literally, it's probably a mile in and a mile out. You
Right.
know, but like you said, intrusion wise, these deer probably do not see people unless they're standing on the bank of the river watching cars go by, you know,
Right. Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
They usually do not see human intrusion
Mm-hmm.
until they get bumped in bear season or something.
Yeah. Right. Well, I usually set like the regular cameras on video mode. I put those kind of on like on food plots, just
Hmm.
because I like to see the video. I
Yeah.
like to see where they're coming from, what they're, especially if you like have a blend of a
Hmm.
of a of a food plot, you can actually see on the video what they're picking and choosing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then I kind of set the cell cams kind of like on sometimes food plots, but sometimes mainly like travel routes. I'll put them on like a water hole. We have a lot of water holes at the new farm. Um, that's kind of how I like to use them.
I like to set mine up in a way that I can catch their entrance towards me,
Mm,
which way
mm,
they approach.
yep.
I like to get the approach, and usually when I figure out the approach, I will put a mock scrape there, and I'll put it on video mode.
Mm-hmm.
I love videos of mock scrapes.
Yeah, me too.
If they come in and they're got their face up in there rubbing around, I just love that.
Mm-hmm.
And I use the Spy High mounting system, and I'm up above them, so you can get a really good idea of how wide they are and what points they have and everything. So I like to set them up on scrapes.
Yeah, I like it too. I started mounting my cameras up higher. Um, I'll usually take like a stick section. I'll
Hmm.
strap it to the tree and I'll climb up the one stick and then mount my camera, face it
Right.
down, especially on public land. I
Yeah.
I'll mount I'll lift that stick up as high as I can to get 1 foot on it off the ground,
Right.
and then I'll climb to the very top of it, and I'll reach up as high as I can, and mount my cameras up that way and kind of angle them down, and I'll still wrap a Python cable around it because,
Hmm.
like you said, people have sticky fingers, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's upsetting.
I don't know how many posts I see.
Somebody
Uh,
stealing.
yeah, stealing or just taking the cards out or doing something stupid. You
Look
know.
what happened to me, trash bag thief.
Yeah. Yeah.
That freaking guy.
That's a whole nother story. We should do a whole podcast on that.
We
You
should.
know that? We
Yeah,
should do that.
yeah,
Just just the whole story.
yeah.
We could fit that into a half hour. We should do that.
We can do that.
We should
Yeah,
do that. I'm gonna write that down.
write it down because you'll forget.
I will forget.
Um, but yeah, that's kind of my strategy with cell cams. I like them. I love them. I want more of them. That's a song.
I was just gonna say this.
That's a song. Um, the only thing is batteries. I go through some batteries. I started buying the batteries off of Amazon. I think it's the AC Delcos, I believe.
Yeah,
But it,
they are. That's what I order for
yep,
mine too.
it's 100 pack of batteries.
Yeah.
It's like $28.
Mhm.
So I'll order like 4 packs of them, 5 packs, and I'll have batteries for pretty much the whole, you know, whole season.
Yeah, that's what I started doing too cuz it I just I just have those 6 cameras, but by the time you put 8 batteries in each one and
Yeah.
then, usually throughout the season I'll swap them right before hunting season, make sure they're fresh again
Hmm.
so I don't miss anything good
Yeah.
for sure.
Let's uh let's talk about some camo situations. I know we're past hunting season, but I recently over the past 2 years have spent a fortune on new camo.
Mm,
Mainly because I get cold very easy.
yeah.
And I I've always had, you know, cheap camo growing up as a kid, and you know, nothing matched, not that it has to, but nothing matched. I was kind of buying pieces here, pieces there, and I got tired of being cold. I could never get warm. So last year I invested in First Light camo.
Mhm.
I think last year I spent like $1,800
Oh
on
my.
camo, and then this year I spent another 1,000.
Wow.
But I have a full set of early season, a full set of mid season, and a full set of late season,
Hmm.
with a full set of uh, base layers for mid season and a full set of base layers for late season. I invested in a heated vest, good gaiters and hats, and I'm telling you, it's the best camo that I have found. I don't get cold. I didn't get cold one time last year. Um, and I invested in heated socks
Ah.
because my feet have always been cold since I was started hunting like 14 years old. My feet would always get cold.
Mhm.
And I've tried different camo here, different camo. I've had Cabela's, I've had regular, just Walmart camo, and all that. And I did not get cold last year,
Mm.
or yeah, last year I did not get cold.
Yeah, I never bought a complete set of stuff
I
before.
I have never either until
I've
now.
never had anything matching. I
Nope.
just I would just always go, get either real tree or break
Hmm.
up or mossy oak stuff. Um,
Nope.
I mix and match. I really do.
That's how I was.
I mean, the camo matches. It's the same pattern,
Yeah.
but it might be a mossy oak shirt
Hmm.
and a real tree pair of bibs or something.
Yeah.
But it's all the same color. The
Yep.
pattern.
Yep.
And I do okay. I do okay keeping warm, except for fingertips,
Mm.
toes.
Hmm.
So hand wise, I don't know. I was thinking about maybe trying some of those warmers, the USB warmer ones you
Electric
can
gloves.
ones you can recharge.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they're like an egg shape, like this mouse sort of
yeah.
kind, and you can
Hmm.
you can plug them in and just slip it in your pocket. I was
Yeah.
thinking about trying that. I don't know. I don't know if that would be any good or not, but
I
yeah, those
use.
disposable
Yep.
things that you buy, I use them a lot.
I use the hand muff.
Yeah, I got one of them too.
I've always had hand muffs, and I just throw like two or three the
Hand warmers.
reusable
Yeah,
or throwaway hand warmers,
yeah.
and then I wear fingerless gloves,
Hmm.
and I just kind of keep my hands in there. That's kind of how I keep my hands warm.
Yeah, I don't like my fingers covered.
I don't either.
Uh, in archery, if I wear a glove, they're fingerless.
Yeah.
Um, even in late season, rifle and all that. I have a pair of those mittens that fold back and
I do too.
magnet to
Yeah.
the back. I mean, and when my hands are cold, yeah, I flip them up and I have my hands in them.
Hmm.
But when you flip them back, they're fingerless, but the thumbs were always
Yes.
a whole thumb. Well, I slit the pad on the thumbs.
Hmm.
So now I can fold them back just like the mitten does. I
Yep.
fold the thumb back because, that's my safety, and holding on to stuff, you got to have that dexterity,
Hmm.
and I wasn't having it. So I went ahead and cut the thumbs off too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. There's a lot of things you can do. I think that obviously the clothing, but the heated vest was really, really cool.
yeah, I've been threatening to buy one of them for 4 years now, and I
I
haven't pulled the
know.
trigger.
I'll be honest. I bought one of the cheaper ones on Amazon. It
Hmm.
was like I can't remember how much. I think I sent you the link to it. It was
You
like
sent me a link. It was only like $52 or something.
yeah, I bought that. But only thing I did was I bought a better battery pack for it. I
Okay.
think the one that it recommends was like a 10,000 one. I just bought a 20,000, and that 20,000 set on medium setting. I had heat all day long,
Huh.
and I used it when we went sick deer hunting this past
Okay.
year. And it wasn't like cold, cold, but I wanted to wear that because we were going 2, 3 miles back in the woods. So I didn't want to have a bunch of clothes. So I just wore that heated vest to kind of keep my center warm so I could wear lighter clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I had that base, but that
Hmm.
20,000 medium setting lasted all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I pack in I pack in a lot of stuff with me, and I
Mhm.
kind of walk. I have to walk a long way to go to my stands,
Mhm.
and so that's part of my issue. By the time I get there, I'm starting to break a sweat, or my feet are sweating, or what. You know, I've been packing things in now, and then when I get situated, I'm sitting there in the dark anyhow with nothing to do. I
Yeah.
start I start stripping off clothes
Mhm.
that might be perspired, and I switch out my socks and stuff, put on dry socks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to have to pack all that crap, but it's worth it not to get cold.
Yeah. For Sika, it was like 38 degrees in the morning, and we're walking. It was like 2.2 miles or something to get back in there, and we had our stands of sticks. We had muzzle loaders. So I had a backpack. I carried an extra pair of socks. Um, we walked in just a real light, thin, long sleeve shirt. Then I had my heated vest and a light jacket in my backpack, and I walked in, cold. I was, freezing the first couple minutes,
Exactly.
but once we got in, I started getting hot, so that I
Yep.
would get to my stand, and like you said, it's dark, and I was in the stand 2 hours before daylight,
Yeah, and you
and
usually get cold before you start the hunt.
right. So I'd change my socks. I'd climb in and I'd kind of sit down for like 20 minutes, half hour. Once I started getting that chill back, then I started putting my clothes on. I
Yep.
was trying to like dry out a little bit. And then I started putting my clothes on, and I was good.
Right.
Yeah, I was good.
Yeah. The only thing you have to watch with all that is just your scent. Just
Yeah, I would
just be careful of your scent.
yeah, I changed my shirt and I'd take my shirt and put it in my backpack and zip it up.
Because if I get all sweaty, and I'm like
Yeah.
got all these wet clothes, and I'm like, man, they're gonna smell me for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Gun hunting, I don't worry about scent a whole bunch. I
Yeah, because you
mean,
can reach out and touch them.
right. I mean, I'm still trying to play to win or whatever, but I don't. If you're if you're trying to shoot something 100 and some yards away,
Yeah.
like I'm not that cautious about it compared
No.
to when I'm bow hunting,
Right. Right.
basically.
All right. Well, we're at about a 35-minute mark already.
Cool. Well, we're in park, guys. Again, thanks for listening, and this was awesome statistics from the podcast. I appreciate it, and keep leaving comments on the podcast. I really appreciate that, and man, we'll see you on number 12, which will be 2.5 months of podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's flown by already.
What do you got to say about that?
I don't know, man.
Are you
I just
grateful?
I'm always ungrateful
I know you are.
and bitter
Mm-hmm.
and tired,
Okay.
and I probably need a nap
Yep. All right.
or a
Well,
Snickers bar.
or a rocking chair.
I will go hit the rocking chair here momentarily
All right.
and wait for dinner.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Okay, guys, watch the podcast on my channel. Listen
Yep.
on all the other platforms that Dave
Yep.
mentioned.
Take us
It,
out of here.
it's taken off, man. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on number 12. Goodbye.